वेलकम इन द KDSushma चैनल। मौर्या ग्रुप के बारे में हमने बहुत कुछ सुना है एंड हाउ यू हैव स्टार्टेड द जर्नी, इट इज रियली इंस्पायरिंग।
For my engineering, I tried UPSC 3 times and MPSC as well, but unfortunately could not get through. I failed grandly and
Okay.
I had no other choice than doing anything else. If you see in Europe or US, they still have this culture of a separate casting source and a separate machining source. Whereas in India, it does not exist anymore probably.
Yeah.
Today, we are 50,000 tons of capacity in terms of foundry. We are a 600 crore group into casting and machining in just 19 years. Last 7 years, we have been awarded by the Govt of Maharashtra for Best Exporter into Engineering segment. We are the third manufacturer of castings in India to produce a green casting.
Oh. So being a Marathi entrepreneur and reaching to that level in the India and in the other global, so what are the challenges you faced in that category and the skill sets you have acquired to cope up with that and to be here in this place? वेलकम इन द KDSushma चैनल। और मौर्या ग्रुप के बारे में हमने बहुत कुछ सुना है एंड हाउ यू हैव स्टार्टेड द जर्नी, इट इज रियली इंस्पायरिंग। सो वी वांट टू नो इट फ्रॉम यू अबाउट द मौर्या ग्रुप एंड अबाउट योर जर्नी।
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
We started off in 2005 and I am a first generation entrepreneur. So it's not actually planned to be that this is what we were intending since day one. But Maurya Group came up to be accidentally into industry. And I basically come from a background where my father was into government services. Naturally, they wanted me to get into government services, and I was been brought up that way. I was been raised that way, seeing that this business and such things are something which are out of our reach, and we come from a typical service background, and this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
So I was been typically born and brought up that way, and
Marathi culture and
Marathi culture,
family.
typical Marathi culture, and so I grew up. I did my engineering not for the sake of I wanted to get into engineering field, but it was for a better degree. That was it.
Better job and
No, not a job, because it was government services. The only thing that I had in my mind, or parents had
MPSC,
in their mind,
UPSC.
MPSC, UPSC.
Okay.
That was the only thing which was been targeted. There was no plan B as such.
Okay.
And after my engineering, I tried UPSC 3 times and MPSC as well, but unfortunately could not get through. I failed grandly, and
Okay.
I had no other choice than doing anything else. After getting out of this entrance exams, then I started looking out for options. And my father, again being into government services, there were 100 options, and it was all confusing at that time. But someone finally suggested that a machining unit with CNC machine could really help, and this is something that is growing and would come up in near future, and we could look into it.
Okay.
So I personally started looking into it. What is it all about? Although I was into engineering, but I never had seen such kind of machine, or I had never visited a industry or something, which was bad part of the typical engineering structure that we have. That you don't have practical knowledge. Practical knowledge was absolute zero, almost 20-25 years ago. Today, I'm not very sure, but I think the things might have changed.
Definitely.
And I got into this engineering. I got into a industrial area. I came up with a single machine.
Okay.
I did not knew what to do with it, how to operate, how to market, how to operate anything out of it. Had never seen an industry in my lifetime. Then I started looking out for people who can operate this, and met people who are already into this. Some people gave me good suggestions, some did not. And finally, I kickstarted this machine and started working for foundries in and around, processing their components, like finishing them, or you could call machining them. This is what we were doing, and basically I was trying to understand the business.
Okay.
It was not, I was not expanding, I was expanding, But moreover, I was trying instead of concentrating on expanding the business, I was trying on understanding the entire dynamics of the business, because this was something new for me. I wanted to establish myself because I wanted to do something else in my life. I could not, due to some reasons, I don't know what. But unfortunately, I could not get what I wanted in my life. So I wanted to prove myself that I do exist. And so I started struggling. I started trying to understand the entire dynamics of the business, and then I could run it more fluently, is what I thought.
Okay.
So I understood the entire thing. I started talking to people, pushing the business. And by 2008-9, we started catering to other customers, where we got into castings as well. We did not had our own foundry at that time, but we started buying castings from outside and then giving end-to-end solutions to our customer. So that was a good decision at that time. And we understood many things regarding this casting buying or casting manufacturing, which was never thought of.
Okay.
And again, at that time, it was like no large size companies were entertaining only machining units. So we had no other option than to connect to MNCs who were a bit comfortable. Small size MNCs were a bit comfortable with we buying castings from outside, machining them. Because if you see in Europe or US, they still have this culture of a separate casting source and a separate machining source. Whereas in India, it does not exist anymore, probably. Yeah. So at least with OEMs, it does not exist at all. Because this is what we knew since last 15-20 years. You need to have your own foundry facility, you need to have your own machining facility, and then you could get through. You could be their vendor as such. So this is how it went. And so we started catering to the small MNCs who were hardly doing any business in India, but who gave us this chance, and we could connect. Okay. And MNCs, we thought they were better to work with, because they were very clear what they want to export. And 3 months of schedules and 3 months of clarity, understanding was something which was really needed. And we got to learn from these MNCs regarding the systems, regarding our operations and their expectations. And we started growing ourselves or preparing ourselves for such kind of companies, like MNC culture, who understands what is needed. So we pushed in ourselves, and we evolved in such a way that we were all ready for MNCs, and we started catering to major of MNCs then.
Okay.
So by 2015, we were exporting around 50% of our components, and with around 1,000 tons of casting per month is what we were buying. Is a sizable size, is sizable enough. And again, we wanted to grow, and then a hurdle that we need to have our own foundry was again a big barrier. Okay. We had wonderful suppliers, we had wonderful foundries connected to us, but again, for our own growth, we need to have our own foundry. Yes. So it was not to fetch in more money out of the casting that we were buying from outside. It was for our own growth.
Yeah.
And then we got into this foundry, and in 2017, I think we got into our own captive foundry, a large size high pressure molding line, which is said to be one of the topmost worldwide. That kind of class of foundry we came up with. And then all these OEMs got connected, which was our dream. We wanted to connect to category A customers, which was a bit difficult for us, being only a machining unit. Although we were buying castings, although we were selling them or providing them end-to-end solution, but as per them, you need to have, many companies had that policy that you need to have your own end-to-end component manufacturing in-house to have more control over quality and quantity.
Right.
So after 2017, we got connected to more companies, and that really helped. Today, we are 50,000 tons of capacity in terms of foundry. We are a 600 crore group into casting and machining in just 19 years, and planning for more expansions in near future.
That's great, actually. Great to know. So, to whom you are supplying? So, which are your target industries, we can say, and the target market you are supplying?
It's major OEMs that we connect with.
Okay.
It's major OEMs because we are into B2B. So, it's not B2C. We cannot target a particular audience or something. It's like B2B. So, we connect, we supply to every other segment, you could say. We are suppliers to, let's say, agri segment, passenger vehicles. We are suppliers to engineering component, engineering product manufacturing, like machine manufacturers, gearbox manufacturers, transmissions, all such kind of
OEMs. They are manufacturing for that.
OEMs or MNC companies are our target customers.
Your customers. And the market you are already captured?
Yes.
Which markets you are dealing with?
Majorly US and Europe. Where engineering products are majorly sold.
Yeah.
So major engineering, if you see in Europe, it's Italy and Germany, and US has always been an engineering hub. So major these companies.
Okay.
Plus these companies, if they are MNCs, they would of course have their plants elsewhere. So there it's complementary kind of, but major target is Europe and US.
Okay.
So we are currently 62% exports. Last 7 years, we have been awarded by the government of Maharashtra for best exporter into engineering segment.
Okay. So in terms of your capacity, the major portion is going for the export.
Yes, it's a ratio that you export out of your entire capacity.
And that's huge, actually, we can say.
That's huge.
Really?
That's huge. Into the segment that we are dealing in.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Because it's like, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Definitely. We came up with that mindset, or let's say, companies with great culture who are 50 years, 70 years old, but they were more comfortable into their current domestic sale, and but reluctant for any kind of change. But again, when we came up into this market, we had no previous background, and the companies we met were MNCs, and what they expected from us, we thought it is natural.
Yes.
We tried to cope up to their requirements, and then we thought this is helping us as well. Because if they are trying to help us and grow, this is definitely going to help for our own growth as well.
It's a win-win for both of you.
Yes.
So you're just fulfilling their requirement, and they are giving you the business for out of that.
Yes, we comply to their systems and or upgrade ourselves to their systems. It helps for domestic market easily. So domestic market is not very demanding. Rather, they are a bit less demanding. Of course, there are many companies who are coping up to MNC standards. But again, these companies, they have
the extra like processes, systems. You need to follow the standards.
They need to comply the entire world.
Everything, yes, actually. But that is needed also. And once you follow all that things, you are like bind to. You have the mindset like, okay, this is the normal process.
Yes,
we need to.
Yes, now it's part and parcel. Like we don't feel anything about exports.
Yes. So it is all about the export requirements, we can say.
Yes,
like that.
Yes. And it's more clear that you have a visibility of 3 months. You have a clear idea when you have to ship your cargo, and that's more better than supplying every night and every evening. There's a vehicle standing at your doorstep, and then
so we are also with the system only.
Yeah, this really helps. Of course, you carry huge of inventories for this, but again, it really helps. What I feel. Because we have been grown in that
process,
culture.
we can say like you are already in the business, or more than 60% of your production is going out of India. So what are the challenges, we can say, in this sector or the kind of industry you are working?
Challenges, if you see, of course, the customer is demanding, and it's again B2B. So you cannot dictate your terms, because you need to again compete with China, which is again the largest supplier of engineering products worldwide. And they have their warehouses into every other country. They have grown like anything. Like I had been to China and have seen engineering companies. They have grown like anything. they have their warehouses, they have their people there, and they are supplying components plus services to the end customer. So next would be like we need to have our own facilities there probably, because that is something that the OEM would demand.
But you have faced any time the competition, the price competition, or any type of competition, the China?
Yes, it becomes very difficult at times to compete with China, because you never understand how their pricing goes.
Yeah.
But with bare pricing, you are never many a times it happens that you are not competitive.
So what is the strategy for cope up that things?
Be competitive. Keep your operational cost to the minimal.
As lower.
Yes.
Okay, then only we can.
Yes, then only you can compete. Or previously, people used to think that exports is like you get lots of money and lots of.
Yeah.
Everybody understands everything. There's nothing like hidden.
That is not a rocket science.
Yes,
actually.
it's not a rocket science. It's not hidden. They know what Indian market is. They know what Indians sell at. So they demand at the same rate. It's nothing that you get a lot of premium over it.
Yeah.
Because previously people used to think when it is export, it's like double,
yes.
You get double of the margins, or it's like double the sale rate. It is nothing that, because 90% of the people sitting in these MNCs are Indians, and they understand our
they
own
know
market,
everything on that.
And they open up everything to their counterparts, and it becomes
so. Can we say like that with the basis of this, like actually why we need to do the export then? So because of why we need to do the export then, like every like people are thinking like that, there is no huge margins, there is no any big profitability and anything, but still people are like going towards the export business. So because of the system, because of the processes, or the less headache, or what we can say.
You explore the entire world rather. That's more better. Because if there's a recession in India, there's boom in US.
So the market is big.
Yeah, the market is big. So Europe would act differently at different terms. India would act differently at different terms, and US would act differently at different times. So it really helps that if US is not doing good, then Europe now since
so you have the options with you to survive.
Since last 3 years, since the Ukraine war, 3 years.
Actually,
Europe is not doing good. So the sale in Europe has gone down. So if at all I was a supplier to Europe only, I would have got into trouble.
Definitely.
But again, we are in India, we are in Europe, we are in US. So it's like we are keeping all our pillars intact.
Yeah. So plus diversification of the market.
Yes, diversification of the market plus different segments you cater to. So if there is a recession in let's say commercial. Or if there is a recession in, let's say, this agri due to bad
whatever is climate, weather, and
conditions for the year. But again, you have good market with the other segments. So you need to be balanced. And if you are not balanced, then let's not blame the
and that is applicable for every kind of businesses.
It's applicable for every other market. It's applicable to every other business.
Yes.
So every business, if you're into exports or domestic, you need to be like diversified. If you're only into domestic, then also you can get into problem. If you're only into exports, you can
that is also
issues.
The problem.
So you need to be balanced.
Yeah.
To keep yourself stable, you need to be balanced.
That is a key mantra we can say like that.
Yes. So India is a potential market. Europe is a potential market. US is a potential market.
Yes.
Plus different segments that you cater to in these continents.
That is also necessary.
Yes.
So about the carbon tax, what Europe has actually like defined. So any impact on the Indian industry or like in your sector or the industry?
Of course, it would have some impact. But again, we need to cope up to their standards again. Like we did previously. Of course, I am very confident we would do that because we are getting green day by day. It's not that we are totally untouched. We understand the commitment from Government of India as well, because yes, CBAM is one part of it.
Right.
The European tax that is planned for since 2026. But again, India is also committed.
Yeah.
So India is also pushing through top 1,000 companies for carbon neutral or carbon lower components. So companies are taking enough steps to cater to that.
And that is a need of an hour, we can say.
Yes. Now, to tell you that we are the third manufacturer of castings in India to produce a green casting.
Oh.
We are the third company in India. Maurya is the third company in India to produce a green casting. Two companies from Tamil Nadu, TN, from TVS Group, had produced a green casting, which is carbon neutral.
Okay.
And we are the third company to produce a green casting.
That's
so we have
great
been
thing.
recognized at Delhi level, at national level for our green casting production.
Okay.
So we are taking initiatives.
Yes, yes.
Because we are into a commodity market, if you ask me. we are into a commodity market.
Okay.
We are fighting with lakhs of foundries in India and crores in
Where
the world. Yes.
through not
so
make
something,
the
yes,
competition is
yes.
there.
So you need to have your own initiative. You need to have some first mover advantage.
So one step ahead to the market.
Yes. So we thought, why not get into the green? Why wait for CBAM?
Yeah. Actually.
Why wait for US to put up some tax on the carbon?
And then only we can change.
And again, if you are suppliers to these large size companies, and if you are an exporter, today or tomorrow it is bound to come to you.
Actually.
And exporter is the first one to be hit by this carbon taxes and everything. If at all it is not mandatory in India, it needs to be taken voluntarily for your own sustenance or growth.
That's true.
Don't start running behind it or trying to understand the things when there is a deadline to it. So we have time.
Yes.
So we thought, why not try green castings? Why not get into it?
But that's huge initiative actually you have taken.
Yes. Because again,
even this is the learning for other type of, like the same industries, we can say the other companies also, that you need to think one step ahead to the market to survive and sustain in the business and to grow.
Export one side looks very nice, but on the other side it is very demanding.
Actually.
So you need to cater to that, and you need to be one step ahead of that. You
then
need to understand.
You can be
yes. If foreign companies are talking about carbon, then before it comes at a mandatory from
so before it gets mandatory, you need to be like in the line.
You need to be proactive and get it, at least understand what it is all about, and try how you can
implement and incorporate processes.
If it comes at all.
Yeah, that's true. But that's a huge thing actually. Companies need to be understand that way.
Yes.
So about the market development, like how you can see, or you are developing the market, or what are the ways to develop the market, especially in the B2B market of the engineering sector?
B2B market, if you get connected to these MNCs in India, they open up the entire world for you. Okay. This is a better way of connecting. Of course, if you have a good representation, we have a representation in US, we have a representation in Europe, and we connect to customers directly. But again, if at all you need to start, if you need to get into exports, you need to have a MNC customer in India, and then it becomes easier for you to supply to all their
so your
plants.
Gateway is that only?
Yeah, that's a gateway. That's a better gateway rather.
Okay. And apart from that, any other things that we need to do?
You can connect to these consuls, you can connect to these consulates and try digging down with data what they are import. And but again, B2B and particularly the nature of business that we are into is a lot much demanding.
Okay.
It's never that you call someone over a phone and put up a mail and they would say, yes, I was waiting for this and please come and deliver. No,
okay, it will not happen.
They have thousands and lakhs of such kind of suppliers. So, and they would have hundreds of audits.
Okay.
And then you would be on board. And plus, every other year you would have another audit. So it's like, if you are a supplier to large size companies, they cross check every year. They see to it that you are complying to every other.
They cross check everything.
Yes.
Like
they
about
see
your financial stability.
Exactly. They see to it that you comply to every other thing, including financial stability. So if at all you are into problem, then their manufacturing lines would be into problem. So they need to they see to it that you are stable enough.
Actually.
And every year they see to it.
Oh. So to maintain all the things in the place.
Yes. And so important. if you wish to connect to any other company in a foreign land, then it takes a lot of time to connect. Because every other audit and every other stability that they would look for, and then the component you supply, and that would be validated there for some time. They would cross check with the actual production cycle. Okay. take a run trial, and then you would start getting
Finally
some
it is
orders.
get done.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a lengthy cycle. With Indian customers, it becomes easier. You
Yes.
supply a good component, and then
Okay,
if that's okay
yes.
with the engineering, then you get into serial production immediately. But with exports, it takes a lot of time. You need to have patience.
Even the efforts also.
Efforts and patience.
Yeah, both is needed.
Both is needed.
Okay. So regarding your journey, actually, it is really inspiring. Why? Because like I'm also Marathi, so I know the Marathi mentality related to the business. And we in India, there are a lot of business communities actually, and they are getting that environment. So being a Marathi entrepreneur and reaching to that level of the, like we can say in the India and in the other global. So what are the things you can say, like the challenges you faced in that category and the skill sets you have acquired to cope up with that and to be here in this place?
Yeah, your upbringing is very necessary at times, because typical Marathi background, if you see, it is never into business. It is moreover service oriented, and if you have been brought up that way, that you need to get into services at times and don't think of business, because this is not our cup of tea. It is concentrated with some people. Then it becomes difficult for you. But again, with struggle and my success, I would definitely like my kids not to come up with such kind of course, they would come up with the into businesses. But again, I would not like them to come up with such mentalities that we are typical Marathi people and we are meant to do this.
To do this, yeah.
No.
Okay.
They need to have big aims. So
vision, we can say like that.
They need to have a large vision. They need to have large aims into their life. No low aims at all. Low aim is a crime.
And
low aim is a crime.
Okay.
No, low aim is a crime.
Okay, that's good. So what are the skill sets you need to acquire in this process because of the background you came up?
Life teaches you. You cannot acquire such skill set actually.
Okay.
It's not 1, 2, 3,
but
4
is
kind
with
of
the,
tick
with
mark.
the experiences
With time, you go to IIM and you study 10 different theories. It's the book that teaches you, and here it is life that teaches you.
Right.
So you get into something, and if you ask me, for all these young entrepreneurs who are willing to come into business and doing any kind of business, engineering one part of it, but again any kind of business, I would definitely advise, it's not a big deal at all. It's not a big deal at all.
Okay.
You need to be consistent. You need to be disciplined. That's it. And you need to dare to come into businesses.
Right.
Because normally what happens is, like, people tend to think a lot and before coming into businesses or expanding. But again, you need to dare at times.
You need to take action for that.
Yes, you need to dare at times. There are opportunities for everyone. It's not, and it's never going to be that you come up with a Tesla would be only one product in a lifetime, or rocket science would be something very unique. But you cannot have every time. You cannot have a startup which is always innovative or something.
Yes. Not necessary.
99% businesses would be traditional businesses which are already existing. So 99% there is a space for everyone. You only need to be very concentrated, very disciplined and dedicated. That's it. Discipline is the key word for any kind of business.
We need to follow that.
Yes,
so there is no excuses in that.
There's no excuse to it.
So business is not giving excuses actually.
No. You can get into any business. Any business could run. It's never that this is good and that is bad. Everything is good. Everything is selling into the market.
Yes.
Everything that is sold into a market, let's say, is a business, and that is good enough.
Yeah.
You need to understand what you could.
So what is suitable to you, and you will take it further.
Anything you can get into, you need to be disciplined. That's it.
So this is the key mantra, we can say. Like you have followed in your life, and you are following further also. And that is the gist of your success? Yes,
discipline, minimum.
Yes, the whole summary of the Maurya Group.
Yeah. Because at Maurya, we have always thought of things differently. Again, it's not due to MNC customers that we cater to, but again, we had a different outlook at times. Because this traditional, typical industries, I don't blame anybody, but they have come up with a typical mindset, and it becomes difficult for them to change.
Yeah.
Although the second generation wishes to change, the first generation sometimes is reluctant. For us at Maurya, we are a young company with hardly 19-20 years of experience, but we are always experimenting. We are always innovative. We are always trying to create something new. Our foundries are such that we have canteens on the shop floor. It's you could say, only foundry in India which had a canteen on the shop floor, where the German company who actually set up this plant for us, it's a German plant actually. They called 70 customers from all over India, and they had a customer day in Kolhapur, and they got everybody at our foundry, and they said, we want you to serve food to them on the shop floor. I said, we do that every day.
That's unique.
Yeah. So they said, this is the future of foundry.
Wow.
And again, why we did it, it was not because we did not had any space outside, but it was to push in the culture that we were trying to.
And that's totally
people
unique
come from
concept.
typical background and they say, this is how the business is. And we say, no. You produce castings, the culture would be us.
Yes.
Culture is Maurya, and it has to be disciplined.
Okay.
So due to this discipline, we had this canteen on the shop floor.
Oh.
So every other premises should be neat, clean. People working with our organization should feel pleasant. It's not because we pay good or that is why they are here, or they need money, they are here. It's a pleasure working here. We are ISO, we are TS, we are OSHA, CMS company. But again, we never hung any of our certificates on the wall. Because if you ask me, that is nothing. The culture has to be seen from the gate itself.
Oh.
So anybody
even I have seen that. Yes.
Yeah, anybody who enters the premises should feel the difference.
Yes.
On one side, you say we are this certified, and the second side, you see a lot of mess around, which does which does not correlate. So don't say that you are this certified. It should be seen
in the processes and everywhere actually in the premises also.
People should feel it actually.
Yeah, that's true.
So my team, we have a wonderful team, and we have a wonderful since beginning. We have a lot of people who are here since day one, since 20 years, let's say. And we have all and we are not a typical family oriented company wherein your uncle looks after this, and your father looks after that, and brother looks after that, and we are a typical corporate company. I am the only one from the family, and every other person here is responsible enough, and they are good enough to handle this business.
Okay.
And with responsibilities, it's always authority as well. Because normally in mid-size segment or small size segment, it's always responsibility with the staff, but they never have any authority. So if you want to grow, they need to have some authority as well.
Both is needed. Responsibility and authority goes hand in hand.
Yes,
actually.
yes.
Yeah.
So every other unit you would see a different infrastructure, gardens. They had to be nice.
I've seen the greenery, the maintain, the climate, and everything.
We have been winning the best garden award in Kolhapur zone since last 5 years.
Okay.
All our units compete with each other.
Wow.
And our own units are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 always.
Okay.
The rest 50 would be 45, 6 to 50 would be someone else.
But 1
to 5 is always us. Okay. And they have to be they compete with each other, our units.
Oh, that's good.
So that is
internal competition.
Yes.
And that's healthy competition.
Yes.
But that's nice. And nice to hear you all, everything about the Maurya Group and the achievement you have done from zero, from the scratch to this level. And we really wish you all the best for the many years to success to the Maurya. And definitely the global market and the India market is really yours. Thank you so much, sir, for giving the time and opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.